Hello, I'm Rosella and welcome to my craft room. Today we're going to make this lovely little clutch bag with, as you can see, it's a Sashiko inspired little bag there. It's got a couple of pockets in there and a little press-stud closure. I hope you enjoy. We're going to draw a line 11 inches from one end kind of roughly, and then another line about 9 inches from that line. This area is going to be the flap and a little bit of the back, and that's the area that we're actually going to put our design on. I'm going to use some of my own stamps for my design, and the ink that I'm using is a Memento Luxe, and this is a mixed media ink, and if you iron it or heat set it then it's permanent on fabric. But you could hand draw a design, you could potentially use a transfer. So this is going to be the lower edge of my flap, and so I want my design kind of around there, not too close to the edge because we've got a seam allowance there. And then I'm just going to do a few flowers dotted around there. Got to have an odd number, can't cope otherwise, and that will be enough. I can always add to that whilst I'm stitching if I want to. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go away and iron that to make it permanent. The next step is to draw on my Sashiko design. I'm using a template from So Easy, and I'm going to sort of try and let it merge into the embroidery somewhat. I really like this design. It's easy to match up and to continue. So that's our tracing complete. So what I'm going to do now is I've just got a little scrap of iron-on interfacing, and I'm just going to put that behind the freehand embroidery to give it a little bit of stability. And then I'm going to go away, I'm going to stitch my Sashiko design, and I'm going to stitch my embroidered design. And I have used satin stitch, stem stitch, French knots, all of which you'll find tutorials on my quick stitches. Now that all the embroidery is complete, so look at the other side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach some iron-on interfacing, some heavyweight, and then I'm also going to put some sew-on interfacing on there. So I'm actually going to do 2 layers of iron-on interfacing. So I'm going to place that one on, turn it over first. So that's iron-on, that's going to go down first. Then I'm going to lay the stitching interface on, and then I'm going to sandwich it with another layer of iron-on interfacing so that my purse is really, really nice and stable. Now your project's got all of the interfacing on, what you want to do is fold. So from the side that the embroidery wasn't measured from, so it's the side with a longer plain fabric, we're going to start measuring at, find my tape measure right, there we go. Put a pin at 5 inches, another pin 5 inches on from that, another pin 3.5 inches from there, and another pin 3.5 inches from there. Now you need to iron in your folds, so you're going to fold right sides together. No, it's wrong, isn't it? You're going to fold wrong sides together, right sides together, wrong sides together, right sides together, and I'll show you that when I've ironed it. So we've got our folds here. And then what we need to do is to take the top edge and bring it over to meet, and then we're going to stitch down this side, down that side. Now we've got it stitched at each side, we need to open it up. So the edge we didn't stitch, you'll see that the two sides, the right sides, are together. You're going to begin by opening that through. So that's taken a little bit of grappling through, but at this stage you should end up with this. This is your front flap, and then you've got a pocket here. And what you're going to do is you're then going to turn it again. You've got the two pockets there. You're going to turn the front flap through those two pockets. I think I might come back to you after I've turned this, as long as you can see where it's heading. Again, because of all the stiffener, we've got a little bit of fighting going on, but because I've made the purse larger, because I knew we'd have all of this to turn through, so I'll come back to you once I've got it all turned through. So we're now all turned through, and you can see that our flap then is going to come onto there. We've got the lovely little design. We've got the design on the reverse as well. So all we need to do now is perhaps pop a little press stud to close it. And here's our finished purse. So I've added a little covered button just to add a little bit of extra interest. You've got your pockets in there, so it's going to be really, really useful. It's nice and sturdy because of that extra interfacing, and I'm pleased about that. I really like it. If you enjoyed this video, please do subscribe